Hey everybody. I don't know, sometimes I hit the live button and it's like not live. I'm like, what's happening? But I think I figured it out, so that's good. So I'm here this evening. I'm gonna pull some cards actually. I'm gonna pull some cards and then do a little chant. I was feeling 7 minutes or so for the chant tonight. But we'll see. We'll see what wants to come through. Maybe do a little bit shorter, 3 or 4 minutes. But we'll see. I'm really excited actually because I took a Kundalini class online today, and the woman was talking about the brain frequencies and like why we do the chants for certain numbers of time. Hey! And so I thought that was amazing. So she was saying that the amount of time, and so the amount of time when you're actually sitting to do the mantra, but then also the length of time. So really you want to try and do a mantra for 40 days straight, right? Which I haven't done in a while, I admit it, but it's on my radar. Like I've been doing other things for 40 days at a time. And so the mantra's coming soon, I think, for 40 days. But the amount of time that you sit and do the mantra actually helps with the frequencies of your brain waves, but then the length of time, right, 40 days, helps with like the regeneration of your blood, like revitalizing your blood, which I just thought was so fascinating. And I'm sure in my training they touched on that on some level, but they touch on so many things when you're in any kind of training. And so the way that she described it made so much sense to me. And I was like, holy shit, like that's amazing, right? Anyhow, that's been on my mind a little bit today, so may adjust the time for the chant depending on what happens and what comes through. And I was thinking Guru Ram Dass again, just because Guru Ram Dass is kind of in my face. I really wanted to do something different just because I did Guru Ram Dass this last time, so for the full moon, but it feels like it's still necessary for whoever, wherever. So gonna stick with Guru Ram Dass, right? Heart chakra, compassion, calling in the miracles, calling in the healing of those energies. Yeah, which I know this weekend definitely could use a little bit of that love for myself. So, how are you doing? How are you doing out there? It's so nice to see you. I'm gonna pull a couple cards. Beautiful moon deck this evening. Playing some ocean sounds in the back. It's been an interesting day. Let's see. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Oh, and then in the yoga class today, she was like, yeah, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 11 minutes, 31 minutes, 2.5 hours. Dang. I have not done any mantra or any sequence 2.5 hours, right? Oh my gosh, hello. That is so incredible. Okay. All right, I think I'm gonna pull one card right now, but then I wanna get to the mantra because I feel like it's so amazing that you two are in here. Yeah. Yeah, ocean because the moon is in Pisces. Which we had all this crazy snow yesterday in Tucson. Like I woke up and I could hear like the rain coming down, probably just like the gutters. I could hear the water. And I thought, okay, cool, we're gonna get some rain today. My neighbor said we're gonna get some rain this weekend. So I thought, cool. I get up. The whole property is covered in snow. I was just like, what is this? I should post another snow photo. But yeah, so moon in Pisces, all the water, all that energy. Amazing. Okay, and this is the card. I surrender to the power of prayer and devotion. What? That seems perfect for right now, right? Here we are. I love this card actually. Because that's what we're doing tonight. I wanted to pull some cards and talk a little bit because usually on Sundays I try just to like get on and do some free readings. But I wasn't feeling super great this weekend. And so A little late on the moon action, but that's okay because we can still, with our intention, call in the energy to be here and support us, right? So I think we'll dive into the chant. Guru, Guru, Wahe Guru, Guru Ramdas Guru. I'm so happy right now. Just like seeing your two names on the screen makes me so happy. Guru, Guru, Wahe Guru, Guru Ramdas Guru. Let me see how long. Seven minutes. No. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. It feels like 5 minutes. That feels really weird. I never do it for 5 minutes. But again, I took that class today and she was explaining just the different brain frequencies and the different times that we do it for. And so we did a really great one today. We did Sat Nam Wahe Guru. Sat Nam Wahe Guru. We did that for 5 minutes today. It was really, really amazing. A part of a whole other sequence, so not something that I would right now pull out and do separately, and it doesn't feel what's called. But it was a mantra, like a meditation for abundance. Actually, it was so powerful. Yeah, right. But adding the arm motions adds this whole extra layer of intensity, and so this evening does not feel that intense. So we'll go with Guru Ram Das, heart chakra, compassion, calling in all of that magic, that healing, the miracles right into our being, which feels really perfect for this time. So just trusting that and not wanting to shift the time or shift the mantra itself, even though for me, I would like to do something different, but this is what feels really called. I'm not going to drop it into the chat. We've done this one several times. Probably you've seen it, but we'll go for 5 minutes. And again, it's Guru, Guru, Wahe Guru, Guru Ramdas Guru. And tonight, if you want to do the mudra, we will, and this isn't one that's aligned with this mantra that I've seen, but I felt called to do this. So if you want to have a hand, left hand on your heart chakra, thumb and middle finger together. I believe this is Saturn. I'm working on my mudras and how all of those things connect. So I believe this is Saturn. I could be wrong. And patience, right? So compassion, love, healing, miracles, coupled with the patience right here. Okay? So as always, I will have the timer going. No need to worry about how long we are sitting here and doing this mantra together. Just allow yourself to breathe, feel the energy, stay with it. You feel things moving around, you feel like you want to shift, try and stay with it for that 5 minutes so that whatever wants to arise and stir within you has the time and the space to do that, right? It can be uncomfortable, but 5 minutes of your day to bring in this beautiful energy, call in this energy of the moon, feels worth it, right? We can do 5 minutes. We did this one today, 5 minutes. We did a different one, 11 minutes this morning, and it felt so fast. And it was really cool to have someone else guide the mantra and the meditation, but to still feel the frequency of everybody that was in that space doing that meditation together. All right, so let's go ahead, have the mudra if you would like, hand on heart center if you would like. If not, of course, just wherever you're comfortable. We'll take a few breaths in and out before we begin the chant. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. And again, the chant is Guru, Guru, Wahe Guru, Guru Ramdas Guru. Inhaling to chant. Guru, Guru, Wahe Guru, Guru Ramdas Guru. Guru, Guru, Wahe Guru, Guru Ramdas Guru. Guru, Guru, Wahe Guru, Guru Ramdas Guru. Guru, Guru, Ram Das Guru. Guru, Guru, Ahe Guru, Guru 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 Ram Das Guru. Inhaling. Nice, slow exhale. And we'll do one more just that way. And just giving the hands, the fingers, just a little bit of a rub, allowing that energy to move a little bit. I've been talking with my students recently about the chakra system. I think maybe I mentioned this before, maybe earlier this week when I went live a different time. it has been the coolest thing. It has just been like so fun and interesting to see how they have connected to it and the questions that they ask. Makes me so happy. So being here and diving into the chants and the mantras with you all also just like feels really, really good to me. I'll be honest and say tonight I'm feeling just like a little bit of emotion stirring. So I feel like my energy is a little bit lower than normal. But having gratitude for that, I feel like in this moment as I express that it's a real thing, right? We go through these like ebbs and flows of where we are and what we feel and where we're putting our energy. And so feeling a little bit of that this evening, throughout the day really, but definitely this evening. But also glad just to stick with my practice, right, of coming to my chant, coming to my breath, doing my breath of fire a little bit earlier this evening, and sticking with that even though, right, every day is something new. Every day is something new. And that's also something I've been working with my students on, that like coming to their practice when they feel guided to it, when they feel like they're starting to get a little unsettled. I try to be cautious with them in terms of how I word that, because it's not about being perfect. And I think that that's true for everybody, right? It's not about being perfect or always being on center, but recognizing in those moments when we feel a little bit off balance or not like ourselves, and the tools we use to bring ourselves back, right? And that's something that I'm, for myself, even in this last, I would say like 2 weeks, really having to be with and sit with, because as we grow and change, and it's interesting because one of you that's here has said to me that like I've grown a lot in this last couple of months, and it, like, firstly, thank you for that so much, you know, but also it shows that the things that once worked don't necessarily still work as our energy and our vibration changes and shifts. Right, and so that makes me think of this today. I was like, whoa, dang, like I haven't experienced this mantra with this mudra before. And so very, very cool to pull in new tools as guided when needed, when things start to not fit or feel as helpful as they once were. Not bad, not wrong, doesn't mean that they're not effective. It just means that for me, and I'm sure this goes for many of you, but maybe this is a new way to think about it, that the process and the energy changes. And so we need to pull in new things in order for us to continue to grow and raise our vibration in those ways instead of just staying in one way. And it's interesting because the Leo King said something, right? The Leo King, he said something earlier this week he does the weekly love tarot. And he was like, Capricorns, he's like, you guys gotta stop doing the same spiritual things that you're doing all the time in order to get where you wanna go. He was like all, Leo about it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense, because our practices, they become ritual, they become habit, but then we grow and expand, and those things also need to shift a little bit, and something new becomes ritual, becomes habit, right? So for myself, I'm working on exploring that. And it can be really challenging, I'll be honest. And I think a lot of it for me right now is the way I'm showing up in connection, the way I'm communicating with people, what I'm sharing, the how of what I'm sharing is also really vital. I think I'm going to pull a card or two. And so, yeah, just dropping that into the conversation, right? And interesting because, yeah. Not this one? This one. Beautiful. Interesting because that's using our tools in action, right? In communication, in relationship connection with other beings, and not just, I'm going to sit down and meditate or do my practice or do my mantras, which I still come back to, super important. But then how can I bring what has shifted for me into those conversations? And sometimes it's having a lot of compassion. Sometimes it's saying the thing that you don't want to say, but you need to say. And so you go for it, right? Hopefully still with a level of compassion, even if it still has a tone or an edge or a bluntness to it, because sometimes those things need to be said as well. Not always super easy, right? Okay, The rhythm of my breath directs the rhythm of my life. I like this for this evening, right? Because we're sitting down and taking this time to be with our breath, to be with our mantra, and to allow that energy to move. So here is that stunning little card, right? The moon deck. The rhythm of my breath directs the rhythm of my life. And this was interesting too, because I took a different class yesterday, and she was talking about, it's interesting, they both were talking about the jaw. But yesterday, the woman I took class with, she said, we hold our stories in our jaws. And I was like, oh my gosh, right? And again, I remind my students, like, relax the jaw, like release that. Just release that tension and don't hold this energy in the face. Especially, it's so interesting during this time, right? Because with these masks, it's like we're all covered up. And so I'm curious if anyone else has had any weirdness with their jaw, because I know I have. And so she said that our stories rest in our jaws, which makes so much sense. Someone says to you something to you and you get triggered, or you feel something by what they've said. What's gonna what happens to your face? Like a tenseness, a tightness, or you're happy someone makes you laugh. What happens? Your mouth relaxes and you laugh or you smile, right? So much energy just right here. So I found that super fascinating this weekend, that the two classes that I took yesterday and today, they both mentioned this energy of like what we're holding in this space and how that just relates to our stories, right? And then I guess I'm connecting it to how we show up, like what we're saying and what we're doing in our daily practices and rituals, but also in those levels of communication. Is there a tightness here? Or are we allowing ourselves to relax and soften and come into this space and not being so tense and tight, right? So I focus on what is working. I love pulling this card because it reminds us to be in gratitude and remember what is going well, and not falling into that place of like, well, this isn't working and that's wrong and this is wrong and this is wrong. And I had a little book club today with a dear friend, and one of the things that came up was like being enough or not having enough, right? And that idea of lack and scarcity, and how when we can really see what we have, it equals this abundance, right? Automatically, like just being in the gratitude. So I focus on what is working, right? And this card is just like all power. Definitely the angle of the arrow shooting up into the sky, saying, this is what I'm reaching for and I'm gonna stick with it. And then the like plumage of the feathers in her hair is just kind of like, in a way, it's interesting. It feels like a mating call in this and a ritual, but not necessarily with that meaning behind it of like, the direction is love, but like maybe the direction is love of self in terms of calling to your higher self and calling those energies in, okay? That feels pretty cool. Love it. I love pulling this card. It was on my little goddess window in the kitchen for quite some time after I first purchased this deck. So there's that. And then I hear like warrior up, like really own what it is that you're trying to create. Yeah, very cool. Let's see if there's anything else that wants to come through this evening. Little mantra, Guru Ram Dass. Again, return to this anytime, right? The teacher that shared this with me originally says, I come to this whenever I need anything. Ooh. That's a little sign that maybe we're done. I have this weird light that like goes out at the weirdest times in the kitchen. The weirdest times. Trips me out. Because it'll be fine for like days. And then sometimes just one of the bulbs will just like go out. But then the next day you turn on and it's fine. So I'm calling on this mantra, Guru, Guru, I Hey Guru, Guru Ram Dass Guru, miracles, healing, compassion. Anytime you're feeling that like sticky, oof, right? Call on this. Anytime that you're feeling love and goodness for someone else or for yourself, call on this. Why not? Right? Again, I focus on what's working. We don't have to be in a slump. We don't have to be in a hole to call on our mantra. We can call on that mantra anytime. That feels good for this evening. I just so appreciate you all being here. Thank you for your comments and for your love. Definitely all the things, right? Like, comment, share, would love that. I have posted on Facebook as well for my Dream Circle in April 3rd at 11 a.m. It'll be via Zoom link, so if you're interested in that, coming together and just sharing anything that's going on during your dream time, you can write it out, you can bring it from memory. You can, write it out, bring it from memory. I guess those are the tools that we have. Oh, if you voice record it, sometimes that's a helpful tool. But again, that will be Saturday, April 3rd at 11 a.m. And you can message me for the Zoom link, and would love to connect with you there and talk about that dream space. So I so appreciate you all being here. Thanks to those who watch the replay, and happy new moon. Sending blessings to you all.